Hare Krishna, dear devotees, want to receive the blessings of Radha Madhav, Radha Shamsana, Krishna Balaram, Bal Gopal, Nrsimhadev Bhagwan, Jagannath, Baladev Subhadra, Gaunitai, Tulsi Marani, Haridas Thakur, Guru Parampara, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. Continuing on, actually, this is the last chapter of the fifth canto. It's chapter 26. So, this is the description of the hellish planets. King Parikshit, because if you recall, at the end of last chapter, Sukadev Goswami, he said to Parikshit Maharaj, okay, I've told you about what you've asked, about the creation. I've also told you about the structure of the universe, how it's structured. What do you want me to talk about now? So Parikshit Maharaj inquired from Sukadev Goswami, why are the living entities put into different material situations, planets? Sukadeva Goswami answers that in this material world, there are three kinds of activities according to the three modes of material nature. All people are influenced by these three modes, and the results of their activities are also divided into three. So one who acts in the mode of goodness, Sattvagun, is religious and happy. One who acts in passion achieves mixed misery and passion and happiness. So in passion, in goodness, one doesn't perform sinful activities because one is situated in a higher state of consciousness. So it doesn't do any harm to anybody. And because of that, there is a predominance of religiousness, and the person is happy. Person who in the mode of passion may do mixed karma, may do good things sometimes and maybe not so good things sometimes, because the mode of passion means one has many, many desires to fulfill, and in order to fulfill those desires, one can do activities which both harm and be good. So the results are mixed. For good karma, he'll get happiness. For karma which is not so good, there may be unhappiness. One who acts under the influence of ignorance is always unhappy and lives like an animal. So, out of the three, of course, ignorance is one area we want to avoid completely, because in that state, one's consciousness is at a very animalistic level, and therefore, the karma one gets is going to take one downwards in terms of the consciousness of different types of living entities. So, because of varying degrees to which the souls are influenced by different modes, their destinations are also of different varieties. Ignorance leads to hell. So, the last one, where there are practically no good activities, and practically all the activities are done in darkness, in sinful activities, meant to hurt, harm others. So in that situation, unfortunately, it will lead the soul towards hellish life. Where are the hellish planets? So the hellish planets are situated between the three worlds and Garbhodak ocean. Prithulok is located in this region as well. Right? It doesn't mean Prithulok is hellish planet, because actually it's where the forefathers live. And it's generally a planet which is regarded next to heavenly planet, next to the heavens. Yamraj resides in Prithulok with his personal assistants. His agents, the Yamadutas, bring all sinful men to him immediately upon their death, where he judges them and sends them to one of the hells. So, now we're going to have a description of the different types of hells. And 28 different types of hells. So this is just a little illustration of the hellish planet. So there's The Mishra. A person who steals another's money, wife, or possessions is put into hell known as the Mishra. Maharava, the animalistic person who lives simply in the bodily concept of life, is not excused. He is put in the hell known as Maharav. So, the vast majority of humans are living in this bodily concept of life. There may be some time when somebody actually inquires about the higher purpose of life, so they would be spared from this hell. Yes, Prayanjali?
You know, the monkey Bali who took the kingdom from Sugriv, he took his wife. So did he go to the Mishra?
Good question. Very good question. He actually became purified because Lord Ram, who is the Supreme Lord, of course, as soon as he touches anybody, that person becomes pure, sinless. So when Ram shot his arrow into the back of Bali, he became pure. And then he actually had a conversation with Ram as well. And Ram explained, because he asked Ram, "Why did you shoot your arrow in my back? You're not a coward. You're from the princely tradition. Why did you do that?" So then Ramchandra explained to him why he did that and why he punished Vali. And one of the reasons why Ram gave that, why he punished him in this way, was because he had taken the wife of his brother, Sugriv, stolen her, basically, like you said. So by that act of punishing him, he stopped Vali going to hell. And in fact, Vali was promoted eventually to the spiritual world because Lord Ram had purified him completely. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Very good question. Thank you, Priyanjali. Andata Misra. A man who tricks someone and enjoys his wife is put into an extremely hellish condition known as Andat Amrisa. Rav, a foolish person absorbed in the bodily concept of life, who on the basis of this principle maintains himself or his wife and children by committing violence against other living entities, is put into hell known as Rav. So this is a really important point to understand, that in our life we should try not to harm anybody intentionally. Unintentionally, we could be walking and stepping on ants. That's unavoidable. So we will be causing some harm to some living entities, no doubt about it. But if it's done intentionally, then that will not be good for us. So we try to live our lives to help others, not to harm. Kumbhipaka. There the animals he killed take birth as creatures called Rurus and cause great suffering for him. Those who kill different animals and birds, then cook them, are put by the agents of Yamraj into the hell known as Kumbhipaka, where they are boiled in oil. So this is a good advertisement for becoming vegetarian. Kalashutra. A person who kills a Brahmin is put into a hell known as Kalashutra, where the land, perfectly level and made of copper, is as hot as an oven. The killer of the Brahmin burns in that land for many years. Now, just to understand, the body one gets when one is in the hellish planet is suitable to endure such punishment. So, otherwise normally these hell, if one went in human body, it wouldn't survive even for a moment. But when one goes to hell, one is given a body which can actually survive all of these tortures, all of these painful events that take place. Okay, Ashipatravan, one who does not follow scripture injunctions, but who does everything whimsically or follows some rascal, is put into a hell known as Patravan. So we have to be careful who we follow. We have to follow, there's three guiding principles: Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. So if we follow those three, the devotees, the scriptures, authentic scriptures, and the Guru, then we're on the right track. We will not be misled. Sukharamukha, a government official who poorly administers justice or who punishes an innocent man, is taken by the assistance of Yamraj to the hell known as Shukaramukha, where he is mercilessly beaten. Andakupa, God has given advanced consciousness to the human being. Therefore, he can feel the suffering and happiness of other living beings. The human being bereft of his consciousness, however, is prone to cause suffering for other living beings. The assistance of Yamraj puts such a person into the hell known as Andakupa, where he receives proper punishment from his victims. Krimi Bhojana, any person who does not receive or feed a guest properly, but who personally enjoys eating, is put into hell known as Krimi Bhojana. There, unlimited number of worms and insects continuously bite him. So this may not sound like a big offense, that we don't receive somebody properly or we don't feed them, but we enjoy ourselves. But it's taken as a grave matter, a grave offense. So this gives us the understanding that we are meant to, even if we don't like somebody, we're meant to treat them nicely. So even if an enemy comes to our home, we welcome them. What's that word? Atiti Devo Bhava. Atiti Devo Bhava is one of the 4 guiding principles. Matri Deva Bhava, Pitri Deva Bhava, Titi Deva Bhava, Acharya Deva Bhava. So very important that whoever comes to our home, we treat them nicely. Very interesting that. A thief is put into hell, Shandamsha, known as Sandamsha. Tapta Surmi, a person who has sexual relations with a woman who is not to be enjoyed, is put in hell, known as Tapta Surmi. Okay. Vraja Kantak Salmali. A person who enjoys sexual relations with animals is put into hell known as Vajrakantaka Salmali. Vaitarani. A person born into an aristocratic or highly placed family, but who does not act accordingly, is put into a hellish trench of blood, pus, and urine called the Vaitarani River. So this Vaitarani River is quite a place to avoid. And it's said that if one donates a Gaumata in one's life, then one will definitely avoid this place. Puyoda, one who lives like an animal, is put in a hell called Puyoda. Pranarodha, a person who mercilessly kills animals in the forest without sanction, is put into hell called Pranarodha. Vishasana, a person who kills animals in the name of religious sacrifice, is put into the hell named Vishasana. Lala Baksha, a person who forces his wife to drink his semen is put into hell known as Lala Baksha. Sarameya Dana, a person one who sets a fire or administers poison to kill someone is put into hell known as Sarameya Dana. Avichi, a man who earns his livelihood by bearing false witness is put into the hell known as Avichi. So, Ayapana, a person addicted to drinking wine is put into hell known as Ayapana. Sharad Gardama, one who violates etiquette by not showing proper respect to superiors is put into the hell known as Shara Gardama. Rakshogana Bhojan, a person who sacrifices human beings to Bhairav is put into hell called Rakshogana Bhojana. Shula Prata, a person who kills pet animals is put into hell called Shula Prata. Danda Shuka, a person who gives trouble to others is put into hell known as Danda Shuka. And we have to understand that one who is going to go to hell is predominantly doing these activities. Predominantly. Most of his life, he's violent to others, to animals, to his tendency is just that way inclined. So that person will, for a short period of time, go to hell to just become, have that punishment. Avatta Nirodhana. One who imprisons a living entity within a cave is put into hell known as Avatta Nirodhana. Pariyavartana, a person who shows unwarranted wrath towards a guest in his house is put into a hell called Parvatana. Yes, sorry?
Why is it like these many hells are there, right, Prabhuji? What if someone commits a mistake out of these, Prabhuji?
Yeah. Mistakes are not punished in hell. And especially if we understand, oh, I've done this, terrible thing. And we ask for forgiveness from the Lord, we ask for forgiveness from the person who we have offended. The forgiveness will be there. So there is no question of going to hell for somebody who just mistakenly does this. If somebody is always doing these things, always, every day, they're causing grief to others.
Wow.
They're behaving very badly. Then that person may well end up in a place, hellish place. Possibly. Nothing is for sure because Yamraj, he will assess at the end of a person's life. They will go through the record and they will make the assessment. Is this person suitable to go to? Should he be going to hell because he's done so many crazy things? And the idea is going to hell is shortening, is actually merciful. Otherwise, that person may suffer for millions and billions of lives just going through all the bad karmas that person has. But going to hell in a short time, the suffering is over. And, instead of suffering for millions of lives, maybe you just suffer for a little bit. That's the idea of hell. So that the suffering prolonged by the living entity who's done wrong is not so great that it becomes ridiculous. Is that okay, Riaz?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you for that question. Very good. Priyanjali, did you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji. You said the one who kills animals in the forest mercilessly goes to a type of hell. So Dashrath Maharaj, he used to kill deers, many types of animals. So after he died, what did he go to hell?
No. See, Dashrath Maharaj, he wasn't just doing it whimsically, like just for the sake of enjoying, he was killing the animal. He was doing it that way. He was doing it because as a king, he needed to do his practice as a warrior. And Kshatriyas, warriors, are allowed to go to the forest and practice. And the best way for them to practice is that a moving target, like an animal, like a deer, or like that, or a tiger or a lion. The thing is, when a Kshatriya, a real Kshatriya, does that, that animal is promoted. That animal, although killed, will go into the human form of life because the Kshatriya is doing his duty. And in the course of his duty, if he's killing an animal, that animal gets the benefit. Will the Kshatriya suffer? No, because the Kshatriya is doing his duty to train. But if the Kshatriya is doing it because he's enjoying killing, seeing animals suffer, then yes, he will face karma. He will face these hellish planets. Definitely. Does that make sense, Priyanjali?
Yes, but then what are we like? Are we a Kshatriya or?
No. We are essentially, we are servants of God. And that is essentially like Shudra. So we are regarded to be, because, see, sometimes when people say, oh, you're a Shudra, they try to insult somebody. Shudra is like somebody who serves everybody else. But actually, especially in a devotional context, Shudra is very, very good because Shudra means we are servants of God. And that's essentially what we are. In this age, everybody is regarded as a Shudra actually because we've all lost our qualities. Some people, they may behave like Brahmins, have very good qualities. Some may be Kshatriyas who are very strong and want to, they can defeat anybody, they can take any challenge. Some are Vaish, they're very good at business. But in Kali Yuga, all of these categories have become very weakened because people are not so strong. So generally speaking, we should consider ourselves as servants of God. That's the best place to be. Yeah. So
Like,
we're not Kshatriyas.
like the seven of the seven of the seven of the Lord.
Yes, das nudas nudas. Very good, Priyanjali. Very good. That is the best place to be. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Because what happens when you're a servant, the master, especially if you're a servant of the servant of the servant of God, the master, he will always protect the servant, and God will always protect the servant. So, very good place, very safe place to be. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking.
Prabhuji, I have another thought, Prabhuji.
Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, like there are a lot of cannibals, right, Prabhuji? Like people who eat other humans, right, Prabhuji? Like they are in mode of ignorance only, right, Prabhuji? So are they gone to hell?
Are they going to go to hell, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So what is their behavior? Just to repeat that behavior.
Prabhuji, like humans who eat another human.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it. What they call I've forgotten the name for that. I know what you mean. Cannibals.
Yes,
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
yeah. That actually is a no-no, of course. There may be some circumstances, if you're in a desert island and, you know, the only option is, somebody has died and the only way to survive is to eat that person's flesh. Well, it may not, that may not warrant um, uh, being subjected to hellish conditions. But generally speaking, human eating another human is definitely something that will be punished through hellish planets. Yes, definitely.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. But we must remember there's always circumstances where the rule may not apply. There's always an exception, because everything depends on consciousness. What is our thinking? Why are we doing this? We may be doing something really, really bad from the outside world perception, but there may be a reason for that. There may be a reason for that. So it's all about consciousness. Okay, last hell. Suchimukha, a person maddened by possessing riches and thus deeply absorbed in thinking of how to collect money is put into the hell known as Suchimukha. So this is something which a lot of the world is already sort of engaged in this process. So we don't want to get trapped into that rat race. Somebody said to me the other day, even if you win the rat race, you're still only a rat. So this rat race of trying to accumulate money and becoming, materially very strong, and has this downside in a very big way. And there's not much upside. So one who is interested in liberation, who accepts the path of liberation and is not attached to the path of conditioned life, is called yati, or a devotee. Such a person should first control his mind by thinking of the Viratrup, the gigantic universal form of the Lord. And like yesterday we were talking about Shushimara, how this cosmic dolphin is also a form of the Lord. Some yogis, they meditate on the Shushimara. That's partly like meditating on the Viratrup. And then gradually think of the spiritual form of Krishna, Satchit Ananda Vigraha. So this form of Krishna is always superior to anything else, including the Viratrup. Thus, one's mind is fixed in samadhi. By devotional service, one can realize the spiritual form of the Lord, which is the destination of devotees. Thus, his life becomes successful. One who hears descriptions of the Viratrup form of the Lord and explains it to others will increase his faith and devotion to the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5 ki jai. So, wanted to stop there. Surinder, anything you'd like to share, please?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Dhanavad, Prabhu, and the Vaishnavas, Nitai Gaura Haribol. Yes, very nice explanation, Prabhu. So, in a summary form, we can understand all this in a summary form, and this is explained in Prema Vivarta as follows. It's about the journey of the soul, Jiva soul, yes? So, Kabhu Raja, Kabhu Praja, Kabhu Vipra Sudra, Kabhu Dukhi, Kabhu Sukhi, Kabhu Kita Kshudra, Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga, Kabhu Swarge, Kabhu Martye, नरके वा कभू स्वर्गे कभू मार्त्ये नरके वा कभू देवा कभू दैत्या कभू दास प्रभु निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंग निताय गौरंग जय निताय गौरंगा. So the journey of the jiva soul depending on the fruits of our karma, karmic reactions. Sometimes we are born as a king, just like in even example given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bharat Maharaj was a king. Yeah, he was the emperor of the world,
Hmm.
And then after that, he developed attachment with the deer, he became a deer. Then he was born as uh, as Jad Bharat.
Hmm.
So first he was like a king, and then when was born as Jad Bharat, he was like a praja, like a citizen,
Hmm. Hmm.
like that. So it varies like that. So our depending on the results of our activities, we are having different positions, different destinations. Sometimes Swargalok, sometimes Mrityulok, this one, Earth planet, and
Hmm.
sometimes Narakalok.
Hmm.
But in any condition, we should always chant Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga, Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga, like that. And
Hmm.
this will be how this will have supreme transcendental benefit. If we
Hmm.
always chant Nitai Goranga, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Nitai Goranga. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic advice. Thank you so much. And wonderful, wonderful singing as well of that bhajan. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Any other questions? Any comments by anybody? I know Prabhabin probably has, but unfortunately I don't know why she's not able to speak. Anyway, Prabhabin, I'll try to ring you later, see if we can sort out the problem. Okay, everybody, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Canto 5 ki jai. So, stop.